This woman owns powerful dragons, strong army and people's support. But in this season, she almost killed by her people. What did she do? When Daenerys took over Meereen, her first action was to avenge the slaves by nailing the slavers to the mile markers, causing resentment among the noble Meereenese.
Is it justice to answer one crime with another?
At his plea, Daenerys agreed to bury his father, one of the slave masters. She even sent him as an ambassador to give the other slavers a chance to surrender and submit. Daenerys' compromise and kindness, however, gave the masters an opportunity to strike back. A secret group, the Sons of the Harpy, began secretly slaughtering her Unsullied. Daenerys ordered proper burials for the slain Unsullied to provoke the Sons of the Harpy.
Angry snakes lash out. Makes chopping off their heads that much easier.
And soon, one of the Sons of the Harpy was captured. But deciding how to punish this criminal became a problem. Mosadder, a former slave, harbored deep hatred for the masters and proposed a brutal crackdown. Meanwhile, Ser Barristan Selmy cautioned against such a path, using the Mad King's example to urge Daenerys to rule with mercy and justice. So Daenerys decided to give him a fair trial. But an unexpected event unfolded. Mosadder broke into the prison at night and executed the Harpy himself. He declared his actions were for Daenerys. For the sake of justice, Daenerys held Mosadder accountable for his crime, sentencing him to death. The freed citizens, once slaves, begged for his pardon, but Daenerys stood firm. The law is the law, and no one, not even Mosadder, could be above it. Mosadder's execution ignited the fury of the people. They bared their teeth at Daenerys. Stones were thrown at the nobles and at Daenerys. Now Daenerys was caught between them, with neither side supporting her. Amid the crowd's scorn, Daenerys fled. Chaos engulfed the city. The Sons of the Harpy seized the opportunity, setting traps to ambush the Unsullied patrolling the streets. Though they lacked strength, their sheer numbers gave them the upper hand. Soon, only Grey Worm remained, fighting desperately to survive. At that moment, Ser Barristan joined the fray. As one of the Seven Kingdoms' mightiest warriors, he had crossed continents to serve Daenerys, fulfilling his vow. A true knight he was, but age had caught up with him. His body no longer moved as swiftly as it once did. Despite his determination, both he and Grey Worm fell gravely injured, fighting to their last breaths. Ser Barristan ultimately succumbed to his wounds, a tragic ending for a life of legend. An unyielding knight should die on the battlefield, not at the hands of masked cowards. Daenerys was furious. Barristan's death shattered her composure. Without clear evidence, she rounded up the noble leaders of Meereen and took them to the dragon pit. There, she fed one of them to her dragons, leaving the others in terror. But slaughter was never a solution. Once her anger subsided, Daenerys chose to compromise. She apologized to the noble leader, agreed to marry him, and reopened the fighting pit to show her respect to their tradition. The fighting pits allowed warriors to duel for glory and fame. Daenerys, however, could hardly bear to watch the brutality. Just as she was about to leave, a mysterious warrior entered the arena. With unmatched skill, he bested his opponents. Without taking a single life, Daenerys was impressed. But when the warrior removed his helmet, her astonishment grew. It was Jorah Mormont, the man she had exiled. He brought with him a gift for Daenerys. Tyrion Lannister, brother of the man who killed her father, and brother of the woman who sits on the Iron Throne. Jorah sought to redeem himself, hoping to earn his way back into Daenerys' favor. Ironically, Tyrion was a fugitive accused of patricide and regicide by his own family. The enemy's enemy is friend. Daenerys decided to keep Tyrion as her advisor. Jorah, however, was exiled once again. But the next day, Jorah appeared in the fighting pit again. All he wanted was to fight for her. Twice exiled, twice returning, Jorah's unwavering loyalty moved Daenerys deeply. Besides Khal Drogo, no man had ever shown her such devotion. With Daenerys' subtle approval, Jorah entered the battlefield. This time, the challenge was far fiercer. Jorah struggled to keep up, and Daenerys watched with unease. Luckily, Jorah won the fight eventually. Daenerys breathed a sigh of relief. Suddenly, Jorah's expression changed. But Jorah wasn't aiming at her. Behind her was an ambushing son of the Harpy. In the next moment, hundreds of sons of the Harpy stood and unleashed their attack, slaughtering anyone in sight. In the chaos, Jorah approached Daenerys. With a trembling hand, he reached out to her. This time, Daenerys did not refuse him. Under the protection of her men, Daenerys attempted to flee, but the exits were blocked. Surrounded by overwhelming numbers, the Unsullied fell one by one, and despair engulfed everyone. Daenerys, holding Missandei's hand, closed her eyes, awaiting the inevitable. Suddenly, a thunderous roar pierced the sky. The tide of battle shifted in an instant. Drogon descended in a blaze of fire, protecting his mother with unyielding ferocity. Watching Drogon fight for her, Daenerys' heart swelled with emotion. As the sons of the Harpy hurled spears at Drogon, Daenerys couldn't bear to see him hurt. She helped pull the spears from his body, then climbed onto Drogon's back, uttering a single command. Drogon obeyed, taking to the skies with Daenerys on his back. Under the shocked gazes of all, she left the arena, ascending into the sky.